Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Two for Talking podcast. I'm your host, Corey Tusick. We've got comedian Joe Bartnick in studio here with me. You can check him out in Chicago, if you're in the Chicago area, on May 1st at Lincoln Lodge, and he'll be around the Midwest, Indianapolis, all that kind of stuff at the end of April, beginning of May. And then he's also going to be at the March 26th at the Cadence Club in North Park. It's a great venue right there in North Park, so please go there if you're in the Pittsburgh area. Check out his latest tour dates at joebartnick.com. And as always, we have the great Josh Yohe with The Athletic. Thank you to our sponsors, Bill Neopus and of Neopus Insurance Group, and Danny's Pizza and Hoagies. And as well, thank you to Labatt, because Joe just got off a plane, so he needed a beer. And thank God we've got a beer sponsor. This segment is brought to you by Labatt. It's brewed for the chirps, the rivalries, and the sacred art of trash talk. Labatt, brewed for the roast. So Sidney Crosby's on the road trip, guys. That's the good news. And it looks like he might be ready to return sooner rather than later. So we'll get more on that from you, Josh. You saw him this morning. But first, the Penguins did nothing at the deadline. And on Sunday, we were on the brink of a third straight loss. They were down 3-0 to Boston, and it's a team that doesn't give up a lot of goals, and they had no Sid or Gino. Yet they gutted it out with a comeback win. And Josh, did it feel like the season was hanging in the balance, and how big of a moment could that have been for this team?
I'm not going to say the season was hanging in the balance. I know everybody said like season saver, maybe. But I will say I thought it was their best win probably in 3 or 4 years. If you consider what is on the line in the standings, who they were without, playing against a team that they never beat, and like you said, Corey, one of the hardest teams in the league to score against, to come back like they did, and there was nothing fluky about it. There was an energy in the building that day and an energy produced by that team that without the big guys to produce that kind of offense, that was an unbelievable hockey game. I thought it was just the most entertaining game of the year, and it may have been the most important game of the year. When you think about everything that team has accomplished so far to this point, that was the microcosm of it, I think, on Sunday afternoon. And just logistically, Joe, like this road trip that starts tonight here in Raleigh, like we know this is a nightmare of a trip. So to bank some points before the trip was a really huge deal. I just thought what they did Sunday was an unbelievable performance.
Absolutely unbelievable, Josh. And I will go hyperbole, and I will say it did save the season. I was fearing God going on a 3-game losing streak. And the way you lose to the Creamsicles in a shootout, just a despicable game. And then to be down 3-0 after Shilov's craps the bed, with the giveaway to Pasta. And then boom, we tied up, and then we win in overtime. I decided it saved the season. I thought it saved a lot of things. It saved the next 6 weeks. And I take a little exception to Corey saying they did nothing at the deadline because Big Elmer looked okay.
He did look all right. And Jesus, is he big. He walked past us at the morning skate today. I did a double take, and somebody behind me said, like, is he going to be covering Jokic tomorrow? I said, maybe. I don't know. It was a huge game. Whether it saved the season or not, I don't know. But the interesting, subplot in all of this, when we talk about, the playoffs maybe being on the line, even though there's still a month left, the subplot here, guys, is that the Columbus Blue Jackets will not go away. And all of a sudden, the Ottawa Senators won't go away. So these teams that we kind of thought were out of it 2 or 3 weeks ago are very much alive. So even though the Penguins are on pace for over 100 points and they've been great, it feels a little unsure, I think, because of the Crosby and Malkin situations and just because of the schedule that awaits. So maybe you're right. I don't know. I don't want to downplay what they did. I just don't think I'm to the point with this team, even if they had lost this game, I've developed a lot of confidence in this team that they're not just going to crumble. But it was a magnificent performance, especially on the heels of a very disappointing loss to the Flyers, a game they should have won. They're clearly the better team, and that goes back to the overtime and shootout troubles. And one other thing about the Boston game, Joe, you're right. Shilovs did shit the bed in the second period. That was a terrible goal. And yeah, they scored 5 goals in that game, but I thought he was great in the third period because the Penguins didn't exactly shut Boston down defensively. They had so many good looks, and when Shilovs had to be good, he really was.
Oh, he absolutely did stand tall. And I think, if you're going to decide who would be the number one goaltender today, I think you have to go with Shilovs.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I think they saved the season, or at least the next couple of weeks, was I did just the way it looked on Saturday. I know I'm the biggest Philly hater, but they stink.
They really do.
We knew they had to get 3 points this weekend. They just had I'm the most optimistic Penguin fan in the world. But if they went 3 in a row, like the schedule's brutal. And you said about the BJs are coming on. So I just think they just stem the tide. They get to go on the plane happy. And I just thought it was such a huge win for this team.
And like you said in our group text, you said 3 points, not the way I thought it was going to happen.
No, I mean, that's very true. It's, Columbus, every time I look on my phone, they're losing 4-2 with 8 minutes left. Then I look again 2 seconds later and it's tied at 4. Like they are on an unbelievable roll right now. They have to play in Tampa tonight, so maybe that will slow them down a little bit. But listen, doesn't it feel good, both from my standpoint as a hockey reporter and from all the hockey fans out there? Isn't this just cool right now? Every single night you're looking at your phone, looking at the scores. Like every game feels bigger and bigger and bigger. We haven't had this in March in a few years in Pittsburgh. It feels great.
No, and I'm not going to, just harp on the shootouts. But the problem is this time of year is the other teams that we're competing against are better at shootouts, and they almost thrive on shootouts. So we're not getting those cheap bonus points that everyone seems to be getting, which makes it even more of an uphill climb, it seems like.
It's funny, all the talk of Shilovs and the shootouts, and I know he's been terrible, but it's becoming just as big of a story just how horrible the Penguins players are on shootouts themselves. And I think it's clearly in their heads at this point. How could it not be, I guess? So, other than Tommy Novak winning the game in overtime, I think all Penguins fans were grateful, not just for that, but just for not having to watch another shootout. Although I wonder if things change on this road trip, Joe. Is this trip to the point, when you look at how difficult it is, where people might say, boy, anytime you can get a point in any of these games, you'd actually probably sign up for it. That's the kind of trip we're looking at.
For all of our older fans my age or older, I'm going to say I am a little Kreskin. I'm not going to pat myself on the back. But what have I said? What did I say? Gino's going to get 5 games. I just felt it. He did. I said, I'm going to be going nuts when it's 3-3 in overtime on Saturday. It was 3-3 to the Creamsicles. But I also said Tommy Novak is a good hockey player. You take out the Mount Rushmore guys. Is anybody been more impactful except maybe Mo Mantha than Tommy Novak?
Tell you what, I always feel like he's a little under the radar. But if you go back and look at all of their biggest moments from this season, Tommy Novak's playing some kind of a role in all of them. He is just a smart hockey player. He doesn't necessarily wow you with his skills or anything that he does on the ice. But if you go back and watch just the little crafty plays that he makes, the way he can distribute the puck, I really like this guy. That the more and more we watch him, you're right, Joe. He's played a huge role. And go ahead.
Yeah, I saw it in Nashville. I'm like, this guy can play hockey. I don't know who he pissed off down there, but I like him. And he got his shot here, and he's coming. And how about a easy celebration? I mean, he saved the season. He's like, that was pretty good, huh? And he got mobbed. He was like you signing off on Madden. the low key goodbye.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. No, that's just how Tommy Novak is. He's the pulse is always really low with that guy. It's funny you say that. That's very true. That's how he is. But he has played a huge role. And you mentioned Mantha. It was funny. Every now and then with Mantha, I don't know how you guys feel about him. He'll have little stretches where a couple of games you don't really notice him. Like, I really didn't like his game against Philly. I was thinking to myself, like, dude, you're 6'5", 230. Could you at least maybe touch somebody in the corner, everyone? Because he's not a tough guy. He's just not.
He does defend his teammates, though.
Oh, I know. Early this year, yes, he does. He just he's not a power forward. He's just a big guy, right? But right when I was thinking, boy, he's been way too quiet this weekend. Goal, and Boston takes the lead. Goal. Like I got to give him credit. And there's a bigger story with him, which we'll get to in the summer. You wonder if he's coming back or not, because somebody might offer him stupid money. But that said, he might score 30 goals, so maybe he's worth it, and maybe he's found a home because Jesus, has he been good. They would not be the same team without that guy.
Yeah, and I mean, you think about there's something about a guy that can score an ugly goal and a pretty goal. You know what I mean? Like the juxtaposition of those two goals, I think, just earned him an extra couple $1 million.
It's 30 goals with 30 goals, Corey.
Yeah.
It's not 15. It's 30.
And most of those are even strength too. I mean, he has been a major presence all season long. I can't say enough about the guy.
Yeah, I was wondering, where Avery Hayes fits in when Brazeau. Because I'll tell you the truth, I haven't really liked much of his game after his since the Olympics. I like him hitting flyers.
Yes,
but I don't like turnovers.
I actually, it's funny you bring him up. I talked with him this morning. I love when we're on the same page, Joe. I asked him how he feels, now that he's got a few games under his belt at the NHL level. And he said it's been an adjustment. He said, I'm not like totally happy with how I've played. Like there's some things I need to work on. He talked about the speed of the game and just kind of getting comfortable. He hasn't been very good in the defensive zone at times. That's one thing I've noticed, and that needs to change. But I think he'll be. I think he'll be okay. He's not a top 6 guy, and they were playing with Rusty and Raquel. That's just not him. He needs to be on the 3rd or 4th line, throwing his body around, pissing people off, drawing penalties. And I think he will be that, but we probably did have to revise expectations a little bit because you can see he looks like a rookie at times.
Right. But that being said, Josh, is he, I don't think from what I've seen this weekend, he doesn't get a sweater over Elmer to me. Elmer brought more to the table.
I'm not going to go that far. I don't know. Elmer showed me some things. I just need to see more of him. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess to say this, Elmer didn't commit 3 turnovers.
No, he did not.
And I remember off the top of my head.
He didn't. I mean, Elmer's interesting. Like I was pleasantly surprised with how he played on Sunday. Yeah. I've talked with some people in Detroit who know his game. They're like, basically really big guy, kind of soft, but he's actually got some talent.
I watched a lot of Detroit. He's okay, but I guess here's a bigger. I mean, hey, no one loves me seeing Hayes hit somebody and fight somebody, but are we definitively sure that he's better than McGroarty when push comes to shove?
I don't think he is at all.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how Hayes all of a sudden now has the he has his own room.
My sense, yeah, and I don't know that he will. My sense on that is. They just felt like Rucker needed a little bit more time. They didn't want to be bringing him back and forth every week to Pittsburgh. I think they just wanted him to stay down there for another month or whatever it is. And the goals are starting to come with him in Wilkes-Barre, and that's kind of been the last thing. He's played really good hockey. He's just not finishing. No, I still think the organization thinks more highly of McGroarty than it does Avery Hayes. I just think they felt like Hayes was hot and they wanted to ride that wave a little bit and let Rucker put the finishing touches on his development.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's really just a surplus of we're just happy we have like 16 forwards that can play.
Right.
I mean, like the turnovers just spoke to me because we're trying to win these games 2-1 and he's fiddling around in his own end. But the other thing is Koivunen, he got the assist on the power play, but that was just right place, right. That was a Claude Giroux. Oh, here's an assist, gift assist as it ever could be one. But I'm not sure Koivunen deserves to be ahead of anybody either.
I'm not very impressed with him at all, Joe. He's too small. And I shouldn't say too small, but I mean, small guys can really thrive in this league, but he gets knocked off the puck like he's Connor Sherry. Like, I mean, he's
how dare you diss 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
I like Connor.
I always defend my cup boys, Josh. You know that.
I know. And I like Connor. I do. But I mean, I was watching Koivunen over the weekend. Like, you touch him and he's on the ice. That's a real problem. Like, Ben Kindle's not a big guy, but he's hockey strong. Like, you don't see him. He didn't have a very good weekend either, but that's a different story.
Well, that's a whole nother topic, Josh. I mean, he can't take a rest now, but
he had a bad weekend. I mean, he had a bad weekend, and I think maybe the responsibility with all the big guys out is a little overwhelming for him right now. And maybe they're asking a little too much of Kindle. He didn't have a good weekend. I don't need to tell anybody who watched the games. He was lost in front of his net on a couple of occasions, and it's just something we're not used to seeing from him. He's been so good defensively. I don't think that will continue. But when you're 18, you're going to have, a little blip on the radar when that happens. But Koivunen, to me, I don't know what happened to him, but in that short stint that we saw last season at the end of the year, he was so good in April last season. He looks like a completely different player now. Don't forget, this guy started on Sid's wing the first couple of games of the season. That's how highly they thought of him. He has really regressed. Like, I don't think McGroarty has gone down on their estimation at all. I just think it's taking him a while, and he's had some injuries. But Koivunen, I do think there are some people in the organization who are kind of like, maybe this is more of an AHL, NHL tweener and not like some second-line winger like we thought he might be. He's got a lot to prove, and he better start doing it because he's just not making any impact at all.
He looks like an AHLer.
He does.
And he looks
a good one, but yes. I mean, that's
the
concern.
Much, he's thinking too much. Like, not that I'm like some expert or whatever, but like, it doesn't look like when he came up in April, he wasn't thinking, he was just playing, letting his natural ability take over. And I feel like that's why people are on him and knock him over. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys feel that way, but it's just, he's thinking too much. And that's kind of, in my opinion, what was going on with Kindle. Is kind of like got thrust into the spotlight and just overthinking the play.
My opinion of Kindle is he's just a little bit tired again. He's kind of overworked. He's an 18-year-old kid. He's thrown in with Raquel. I mean, it's sort of like fantasy camp.
Yeah.
He's thrown in with Raquel and Rust on the top. He's filling in for Sidney Crosby.
It's an 18-year-old.
It's one thing to be between Brazeau and Mo Mantha on the third line, and I mean, the kids exceeded every expectation. I just think he's getting a little worn out again.
Could be. He'll be all right though. He was the last guy on the ice at the morning skate today. He's like working his ass off forever after the skate, so that's probably a good sign. But yeah, I think that might be the case. Listen, when the big guys are all out, he's basically their number one center, and he's playing on the power play, and he's playing on the penalty kill, and his minutes are increased. It's a lot. It absolutely is. So it's something to monitor, but I think he will be all right. Koivunen, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. And I bet Rucker will be up sooner rather than later. They really like him. I think they just decided it was best for him to spend a little bit more time in Wilkes-Barre. I think he's a better player than Avery Hayes, and I think the organization has much bigger plans for him than Avery Hayes. But Hayes has been playing great. He's on a hot streak, and I don't think Hayes has been bad either. He's a rookie. They're going to have some games. There's going to be growing pains when you're relying on those guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like, the push-pull with Muse, who usually has been pushing the right buttons. I didn't like the kid line, and I think it was much better when they got split up. I think the kid line did not work. But I think maybe other than the 3 points this weekend, the best news was they never turned to Kevin Hayes. It's like, we'll fly, so we'll get a private jet to Wilkes-Barre before we see Kevin Hayes again.
The show will pay for it.
That is.
We'll get the Labatt's private jet.
See, you're enjoying your Labatt there, by the way.
I certainly am. It's been a little jet lag. Nothing like it's like Shane's. It's like Shane Gillis's little thing. Everything's better with a couple beers.
I have a question for you guys. With Letang this weekend, which he was brutal against Philly.
Yeah.
And the Sam Girard line, obviously, the pairing was not working. So we could talk a little bit about that. With Letang, I don't think he necessarily played better to redeem himself on Sunday, but wasn't as bad. And then Sam Girard with Ilya Solovoyov, or I butchered that, but Girard looked much better in his new pairing.
Boy, did he ever. And Girard's hurt, by the way. He's not playing tonight. I think he's just day-to-day. It's what the Penguins said, so I don't think it's anything seriously. He's obviously banged up. That third pairing was really good on Sunday. That was by far Girard's best game with the Penguins. I thought Letang looked marginally better with Shea. Like, Letang against Philly on Saturday was unbelievably bad. It was painful to watch, Joe.
It's always painful to watch Chris Bosch Letang.
And I feel like I'm always criticizing Letang, and I hate doing that because I do have so much respect for all he's overcome in his career and the competitor that he is. But when I think about what the Penguins' biggest problems are moving forward for the rest of the season, he's really high on the list. He's not comfortable playing with anyone. He's just making massive mistakes every game. It's not like they're going to take him out of the lineup. We know that's not going to happen. I don't know what you do with him, but I think playing him with Shea probably is the only thing you can do, really. You cannot touch that top pairing. The third pairing, as we said, looked really good. You're going to see Clifton back in the lineup tonight. He's been fine. Shea's been so good. Maybe he can pull a Dumo and figure out a way to get the best out of Letang down the stretch. Because, Joe, if they make the playoffs, like, you can just feel it coming now. Like, oh, Letang was a -3. Well, Letang was on the ice for 4 of those 5 goals. You can feel it coming a mile away.
Hey, everyone says I'm a hater. I've been on record since about 2018 saying that he's been the biggest problem on our team. If for some reason we don't want to get rid of him, I don't know when Corey has lined up and we're going to have the Gino debate.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, he's the Teflon defenseman. I don't know because he's pretty or what, but somehow he's always allowed to screw up continuously, and not everyone loves him, but a few people love him. It's like I don't. He's literally why this team until Dan Muse came, why this team couldn't play defense, because when your top defenseman is a minus every game, the whole team structure goes to hell. I like the Soyanov guy, whatever. I thought I don't know why he came out of the lineup to begin with. And we like Connor Clifton. I don't know. I think the first mistake that Kyle Dubas made this whole since July 1st was the trade to Edmonton. I'm sorry, not the trade to Edmonton.
The Kulak trade.
The Kulak trade. I think they finally found the Letang whisperer to get us through until he finally hangs him up. And Gerard might be a better hockey player, but it's the fit is not working, and it's really hurting us.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, Joe. On paper, Dubas won the trade. Like, I do think Gerard's a better player, and he's younger and all that. And you got a second-round pick. So he won the trade, but was it necessarily the best trade that the Penguins, just for the rest of the season, could have made? Now, that's a conversation, and maybe it's not. Because you're right, Letang is just so impactful. I've been writing in my articles for 10 years now. The Penguins go as he goes. Like, when he's playing pretty well, they're a darn good team. When he's struggling, you can't win a playoff series with him. When he's struggling, you can't. He makes too many catastrophic errors. And for whatever reason, Kulak and he had really, found a relationship that worked on the ice. They were, bringing out the best in Letang. I will say this. It took a few games. Kulak wasn't very good the first few games. But when they got together, there was definitely chemistry there. Letang and Gerard should never touch the ice again together. Like, there's no chemistry at all. I don't know if it was just two guys who both need the puck too much or what. It just wasn't working. So good on the Penguins for making the switch. Let's see how Shea can do with him, because Shea's a pretty solid player. He's theoretically the kind of guy who should play well with Letang and take care of some of his mistakes. But if that doesn't work, Joe, I don't know what the hell they do. It's a big problem.
Yeah, and it just seems like we always have to cater to what he can do or can't do.
Yes.
It really is an albatross around the defense pairings.
He's just a high maintenance individual, isn't he? I mean, they're always trying to figure out how to.
He's a hot girl. There's always more problems.
Well, that is one way to look at it.
If he looked like Dumo, he would have been sent to Winnipeg 9 years ago.
Well, as true as that may be. Speaking of which, before we forget, on the blue line, another good-looking man on the blue line I want to mention.
Yes,
Erik Karlsson is playing out of his freaking mind. It was Tuesday in Boston last week. I actually thought to myself at the end of the game, like, the Penguins lost that game, but I thought that might have been the best game I've ever seen Karlsson play with the Penguins. And then Sunday against Boston, I said the same thing. Like, this might be. He is playing at an extraordinary level, Joe. This is the guy that they wanted to be trading for 3 years ago. We didn't see it the first 2 years. I am blown away by his game.
He's playing Ottawa pre-skate cut level Erik Karlsson.
Yes.
He's been everywhere on the ice.
Yeah.
And playing defense, not just being up ice the whole time. He's controlling play. Who would ever thought he'd have played this well this season? I mean, thank God we didn't trade. Where would we, honestly, and this is nothing against the captain. He's probably been our MVP.
I would vote for him right now.
I think he has. No, I mean, where would this team be without him? If he wasn't on this team, Crystal Tang would be playing 28 minutes a night. Really? I mean, that's
yeah. I mean, well, we would be. It would have been a funner deadline. Corey would have had something to talk about.
I mean, to be completely honest, I was thinking about that while we were talking about Letang, and I made a note. Make sure we bring up Karlsson, and of course, as it happens, we just roll with it. And that to me is the biggest difference, because Erik Karlsson hasn't been this guy, and Letang obviously still isn't that guy. And having that guy, it just goes to show you the difference it makes to have that guy at the top of your defensive core. I can't overstate it enough. And I'm sorry to all the Letang lovers out there. This is a huge reason as to why we did not. He's one of the main reasons we didn't win the Cup in 2018. He's one of the main reasons we've struggled ever since then. And I've said it before in the show. We won the 2016 Cup in large part due to him. We won it without him in 2017, and we didn't win it in 2018 because of him. So, Erik Karlsson, in my opinion, has saved the season.
It's a complicated legacy Letang has. There's no doubt about that. But Karlsson, I have to give him so much credit. It's not just the things that you expect from him. Like, his penalty killing's been legitimately good, Joe, which I never would have guessed. I would have said that before the season, but just the way he uses his skating to defend, to help the Penguins in his own zone on the penalty kill 5-on-5. Like, he made some plays. Pasternak had like a mini breakaway late in the third period. He just used his speed to cut him off and force him toward the boards and get kind of a low percentage shot on net. Like, little stuff like that he wasn't doing last season. He is a completely different player. It's just a joy to watch the guy right now. And after the Boston game, I said to him, you're pretty freaking good right now, huh? And he's one of those guys who always downplays it. Like, if he's playing like shit, he'll say, I'm all right. And if he's playing really well, he'll say, I'm all right. But he stopped and looked at me and goes, pretty good. Like, yeah, I would agree. He's feeling good about himself, and he should be.
Well, I think just giving the opportunity to kill penalties, put a little pride in him, that he wants to do well. You don't win whatever 4 or 5 Norris trophies without having a little pride.
No.
And I think it's shown this year. And also Parker Wotherspoon, you can't say enough about that guy either.
No.
What a signing!
No. They're getting him for $1 million a year for another year, by the way. He has been so good, and I've had people in the organization tell me that when Muse approached Karlsson and said, "Hey, we're going to use you on the PK this year," like, that really did something for Karlsson. Like, he appreciated it. And he actually said to Muse, like, yeah, I'm actually pretty good at it. Like, people think I'm not, but if you give me a chance, you might see that I'm actually not terrible at it. And he's proven that, and then some. I just marvel at the way he is playing, and especially since Sid went out, that you can see him demanding the puck even more. Like, he wants to put this team on his back a little bit right now. And I think he's done that. I think maybe he deserves credit for that, just from the standpoint of, leadership's an overused word, but that, to me, that's leadership.
He has that in spades. What your point about him penalty killing was excellent. But the other point is his pinches have been superb. He hasn't been caught up ice like he was last season. He's not pulling Letangs. He's getting back, and B, he's just smarter about it. Even when he's on the other side of the ice, he just seems he's playing at peak Karlsson. He really is.
No, he isn't. The old 2-9er Phil Bork made a great point the other day. We were talking about Karlsson, and Borky said, watch him on the rare occasions that he does screw up or get trapped or turn the puck over. Watch how hard he's working the rest of the shift just to make sure that the puck doesn't end up in his net. And I've noticed that a couple of times. He really turns the jets on when he does get trapped. I mean, there's just an accountability with him right now that very, very clear. And like I said, I just marvel at the way he's always fun to watch, because he sees the ice differently than everyone else, and the way he can handle the puck and the passes he can make.
Oh, it's just fun to watch. And yeah. I'll be the first one to say, about a month ago, I thought, are we playing the fourth line too much? Are they getting too much ice time? They were incredible this weekend.
Especially against Boston. My God.
Yeah. I mean,
know.
and if Achari had any hands, he would have had 7 goals.
Yeah, I wish
He
that
plays
were his
ass
thing.
off. I'm not bagging him, but I mean, literally,
No.
I mean,
They said even though the Penguins fell down 3-0 in that game, I thought their fourth line set the tone on the very first shift of the game.
Yep.
And how many times have we seen comebacks this season? Big comebacks, and that fourth line has had a lot to do with it. And you don't usually think of that as a fourth line, right? But the biggest goal of the game may have been Connor Dewar. It was still 3-1 Boston. They were in control of that game, and Dewar scores that backhand goal out of nowhere. That just ignited that building and completely changed the game. I remember in January, they had the big comeback on a Sunday afternoon in Columbus. It was Achari that had a big goal that got that one going. You can't say enough. And you're right. I had the same thought, Joe. I'm thinking, man, you got to be careful with Sid and Gino out. You don't want to overuse this fourth line. Like, it still is the fourth line for a reason, right? Like, no, I was wrong. He can keep playing those guys because they're whatever they are doing is working, and we've seen it all year.
That Dewar goal. How about that pass to set it up?
Well,
the
Shea,
bank
right?
pass? Yeah. Shea, I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it was when Sid and Gino were still playing that I was like, I think when we're down a goal with 7 minutes left, I think I'd rather see Sid and Gino out there than the fourth line. But but it proved well. The stat was thrown around everywhere, but it had been since February 10th, 2001, since they came back from 3 goals without Sid and Gino. The star that day was Alexei Kovalev.
I looked up the box score too.
Well, the stats are nuts, though. I mean, I'll just say with Sid and Gino, they're like 615. With just Sid, and no Gino, they're 627. With no Sid, just Gino, they're 631. And with neither of them, they're 634. I don't remember the Tyler Kennedy experience that
Well,
it was all that 1 year, right? I mean,
most of it was, and that was Marc-Andre Fleury playing out of his mind too. That helps when you have the Hall of Fame goalie to fall back on. But also it was the 21-22 season, I think, when Crosby and Malkin were both out to start the season for a few games. And
they went down to Tampa, and I was already jumping off a bridge.
I know they Tampa like 6-2 or something. Like, what?
Yeah, Tampa was hanging the banner. I'm like, we're gonna get destroyed. This is terrible, and they won.
I know, and they actually played okay to start that season until the big guys came back. You can't do it forever. You can do it for a couple of weeks. I think that's what we've learned over the years.
Yeah,
like everybody can kind of come together and elevate their games, and the Penguins have that knack. You don't want to do it forever. So I've had a lot of people asking me, well, how long is it going to be? Corey just pointed.
Oh no, yeah, no. I was just. I
thought Corey was telling me to shut the hell up. I'm sorry.
No. I was just raising my finger to say we could. Yeah, go ahead. I was not telling you.
Oh, sorry. No, you're the boss, Corey. I'm just listening to you. But if we want to get into Sid and when he could potentially return, he did skate this morning. He actually skated on a line with Gino, which was kind of funny. They were just kind of like putzing around while the rest of the guys who were playing were getting ready. It's the best fifth line I've ever seen.
And with Hayes, it goes to even Hayes could score on that line.
Well, he was actually the other guy out there with.
I figured the 3 guys that can never play, aren't going to play for sure. That was going to be my question: is Gino in Florida or is he on the trip?
No, he's on the trip and he's allowed to practice, and he'll be back in Denver next Monday. So 3 more games for him. Sid, just watching Sid today, he stayed on the ice for over an hour, and he was like, I actually posted a video on Twitter. He was exhausted at the end of one of the skating drills he was doing. That's a good sign when you see him working up his endurance like that. That typically means he's very close to returning. Though I will say, just watching him skate, like he looked fine, but I didn't feel like he was cutting like at 100%. You know, like when running backs are hurt, they can run straight line fine, but they cut left or right. Sometimes, they don't look themselves. Like that's kind of what he looked like. Like he was just kind of testing out his knee a little bit. And I don't want to say he looked ginger, but I think he was just being careful. So I didn't feel like he was going quite at 100% yet. I'm being picky probably with him, but I listen, he's going to return this trip. I really think he will.
Well, I mean, I had knee surgery, 40 years ago, but it is the cutting that makes it interesting. Mm-hmm. It is make you ginger. But now, there's no practice, it used to be, I think the Sully way was, you have to do a non-contact, then you do a regular practice. If you make it through those two, then you can play. Is Muse is going to be like, it's Sid, he can do what he wants? Or is there going to be a protocol that he has to pass? Or it's just when Sid says, I'm ready, I'm ready?
Well, and normally you would have him participate in a full practice, have him take some hitting, whatever. Here's the problem. Their next full practice is not scheduled until March 20th, 10 days from now. There is literally not a practice scheduled on this trip.
Yeah, and the Blue Jackets will be in second place by then.
Well, it's like this trip is like 5 games, 5 morning skates, and 5 days off. That's literally what it is. Just because and I understand the way the schedule is. Like, people are going to be out of gas. But what they'll do, they're going to maybe in Vegas on Thursday. They're just going to throw him out there for the skate, or even tomorrow on an off day if they can find some ice. Go have Gino and Hazy hit him. Well, maybe not Gino. We don't want him to get hurt, but I mean, he can go take some contact. He knows his body well enough. I don't think he needs to take that much contact. They can get away with it in a morning skate or just an informal skate with a few guys, probably. So I don't know when he's going to return. Obviously, I would tell you if I did. But I think it will be on this trip. I'd be surprised if he's skating for that long. And it's been over a week now that he wouldn't play on the trip at some point. Which game it will be, Vegas, Utah, Colorado, I don't know. But I have to think in the next few days he'll be back.
It's going to have to be Gino, though, because even on one leg, Hayes can't catch him.
There is an element of truth there. I cannot deny that.
You'd have to almost line him up and say, here's the guy. Sid, don't move. We're going to give Kevin Hayes a non-moving target.
Four strides.
But I will say, there have been no setbacks. I think he's probably ahead of schedule. The fact that he's already been skating for more than a week, that's a really, really good sign. So it's a matter of time. And I'm sure it makes it a little easier for him, when he sees them get 3 out of 4 points like they did this weekend. He doesn't have to feel like he needs to be Superman and come back before he's ready to play and really do some damage. That would be worst case scenario. So I don't think he's that far away, though.
He looked like a disappointed parent during that Sabres game, looking from the press box.
Well, yeah, and Sid, we can break up a winning lineup. Come back. If you're watching this, don't worry. You play hero.
What do you mean if? We know he's watching.
Are we gonna do Bill?
Yeah, let's jump in. Well, one thing before we're going to come back to in a second here. Josh, wrote an article about Evgeny Malkin and got a lot of people upset. I saw a lot of things getting thrown around. So we're going to talk about that with Evgeny Malkin and his future when we come back from this. But Mr. Neopus, I'm curious, is he going on this road trip at all? I know he likes to hit a hockey game here and there on the road.
I will be meeting our first ever sponsor in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada. In fact, of course, we will be seeing Carrot Top as we always do. And I'm sure there will be a couple of dinners lined up, and he will indeed be at the game on Thursday in Vegas at T-Mobile Arena. So yes, it'll be very nice to see our great original sponsor, the OG.
The OG, Mr. Bill Neopus. Yeah, I mean, with his personal friend, Carrot Top.
Yes. Yeah, I think there's a meet and greet planned with Carrot Top, as there always is. I don't know. Joe's always going to be my favorite comedian, but Carrot Top is in the top 5, I have to admit.
But he definitely can bench more than me nowadays.
The guy is like in his 60s now, and he's just more jacked every time I see him.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He really
is. If there's some illegal
does Bill insure his props? Does Bill insure his props?
Oh, that's a good question. He should. I might have to bring this up, actually. I might. And by the way, Bill must be so excited about this trip that he just sent me a new little commercial for
excellent.
So I'm just going to read what Bill wrote us.
There are only big commercials from Bill.
That's right. It's a message from Bill to the listeners and the viewers. For more than 60 years, Neopus Insurance Group has proudly partnered with Nationwide Insurance to help protect what matters most to our community. From the car you drive every day to the home where your family gathers to the business you've worked so hard to build, Neopus Insurance Group delivers reliable protection with the strength and stability of Nationwide behind it. But protection doesn't stop there. Through our partnership with Illumination Financial, we can also help you plan for the future with life insurance, annuities, and long-term coverage designed to support you and your loved ones for years to come. Local service, trusted partnerships, complete protection. God, that sounds good. It's very professional, Bill. I just would have told you Bill's the best, but Bill explained. He showed his work. But anyway, contact Neopus Insurance Group today, and they are truly the best, as we tell you every week. You can reach them 412-364-3388 or online. It's Neopus, Neofes insurance.com. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
Let's jump into Gino here.
So Josh, you wrote an article about Evgeny Malkin and his future, and it upset a lot of people. Yeah. But I thought it brought up some good points. Is this Gino? Do they know he wants to stop playing next year? Is he going to keep going? He doesn't ever want to stop playing, will he decide on his own terms when he's done? Everybody assumes that it's the Penguins saying, there's the door, but at some point you gotta end. It has to end at some point, right, Josh?
Well, and first of all, let me say, if I were running the Pittsburgh Penguins, I'd probably bring him back next year. I still think he's a very good player and worth it, but I can understand how the Penguins are not sure how they want to handle the situation. They've needed to get younger for years, and guys like Malkin and Letang, they are such of a massive impact in that locker room, on the ice, off the ice, in so many different ways. And they have so much power. And it's always been that way with the Penguins, right? The superstar power that they have. And I think the Penguins are at a point where it's like, we can't just give you guys what you want all the time. And I've said this before. I know for a fact Kyle Dubas didn't want to bring him back last summer. I've been told by people I trust he absolutely didn't. It was nothing personal. He just thought it was time to move on and spend money on younger players, etc. I don't know how that has changed, because Gino's been better than we thought he'd be this year, and the team's been way better than we thought it would be. So maybe that will change things. But as much as I love and respect Evgeny Malkin, it's not like he doesn't bring some negatives to the table on occasion. And there's also no guarantee he'll be this good next year. He probably won't. At his age, it'd be hard to think he's going to do this again at 40. Look at how Alex Ovechkin has dropped off this season. I cringe when I watch him play some nights in Washington. So I think there's a lot on the Penguins' minds when it comes to Malkin. I don't think he did himself any favors by what he did last week either. So I would bring him back, but I think it's a very delicate balance that the Penguins are dealing with. I asked Jordan Stahl about it this morning. I said, there's a lot of shit going on with, Gino in the front office and everything. And Stahlsy shakes his head. He's like, well, he said, I know as well as anyone that all good things come to an end in Pittsburgh at some point. But he said, he also said the guy can still play. I mean, and that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, as one of the leaders of Gino Nation, I will say that you can't excuse what he did the other night. I don't think it had to do with whatever he's thinking about Kyle Dubas and his contract situation. He's been known to snap. That's why he never needs a bodyguard. And Dahlin is sneaky dirty. I mean, he made Austin Matthews, who's a pacifist, take a 3-game suspension.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, think about that.
He's taking a lot of shots.
And people want to
Brandon Hagel committed assault against him. I don't know how you don't bring back a winger who, even if he doesn't win $6 million, but I still think it's $6 million. A point per game winger is worth at least $6 million. But let's say they want to play hardball, 4.75. I don't know how you don't bring him back at that, unless it's just to prove a point and to move on. The thing that makes me upset now is somehow the Gino haters are ever. I think Ron Cook's going to come out of retirement to write a Dying Alive column just to bury Gino some more. And remember how long it took for Yager to come back. And no offense to Yags, but Gino's actually, he didn't save the franchise, but he has 3 cups. And he stayed here 21 years. You don't want to burn a bridge just because of, I don't know. I just don't like the way it's trending now. I just don't like the way the fan base is a little bit turning for what happened. We can't do that. We just cannot do that to Evgeny Malkin, because, like I said this 20 minutes ago, somehow Letang gets a pass. It's not what about this guy? But it's like, how is he skate? He's Chris Bosh.
I know.
So somehow we can put up with all of Letang's bullshit, but I mean, if you had all Letang's mistakes combined, he's cost us way more seasons than one slash to a guy's head.
I know. I'm like, if you could just make an example of somebody, couldn't it have been Letang?
What? Oh yeah. What that's what's so funny is, and this is how stupid most Flyer fans are. I tweeted out, I go, I wish Letang would have hit Zegras in the head. I'd love to not see him for 5 games. And all these Flyer fans like, oh, you leave it to the Penguins. They slash someone and not want to fight. I'm like, are you that stupid? You don't get the point.
Yeah, Gino wanted to fight him, but they didn't want to fight, so he was forced to slash him in the head.
Oh, yeah, he turtles.
And Dahlin, I mean, did you see what Brandon Hagel did to Dahlin the other night? I mean, he literally assaulted him and punched him in the back of the head. Like, that's not a suspension, by the way, which is amazing. Like, I had no problem with the suspension Malkin got, but the lack of consistency around the league. Really
that's what I said. I thought he would get 5. I mean, it was a crack over the head with a stick.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Unless your name's Trouba, you get suspended for that. Trouba gets fines for this type of thing.
But even Trouba is, even Trouba is in the realm of hockey. Like, they threw Rocket Richard out for a season when he did that. I mean, you can't swing a stick at somebody's head.
No, you can't. But your point is well received about Letang, and his situation is interesting because let's not forget it was less than 4 years ago when Ron Hextall gave him a 6-year contract when he was like 36 years old or 35 years old, which I think at the time we all thought was a little bizarre. Like, the guy's in his mid-30s, he's already clearly in decline, he's had 2 strokes, and you're giving him a 6-year contract. Like, it was kind of odd at the time. And now the Penguins are in a bad spot with him. They can't buy him out. Because he was over 35 when he signed that contract, so they wouldn't save any money. There's no point in buying him out. They can tell him just to stay away next summer, I guess, if they determine that the team is better without him.
I think they need to, Josh. I think the team is just better without him.
They might be.
You can't tell me that, like, Slovanov or Clifton or anybody, you have the one flashy, look at that assist. Oh, that's once every 10 games. How about all the -2s he puts up and the bad pinches and the bad penalties and just the stupid play he's been doing for 20 years? It's not like it's crept up in his game. It's been there forever.
Right.
He was fast enough to make up for it.
And a lot of it, I don't know how else to say it. A lot of it's ego. I mean, I really believe with Chris, like when Erik Karlsson makes some beautiful play, like I really think he goes out on the next shift and tries to show he can do it too. Like, I know that makes him sound childish, but that's just his personality. And I think his inability to adapt has become a real problem. And I'll give Malkin a lot of credit for that. Like, this is a really bad time to say it given what he did last week, but in general, Malkin has been better about cutting down on the stupid penalties, the bad turnovers. I think we've seen real improvement the last couple of years in his game in that regard. And I think he deserves credit for that. And I also think his ability to transition to the wing has been pretty impressive. Like, he's played center his whole life. That's not easy to switch positions. He's done it well.
He's played well is number one. But I think 1A is the fact he just accepted it and did it. And how many top 30 players, I'll even give you 50 if you want to argue, of all time, changed positions without a peep?
That's right.
I mean, could you see what if they asked
Derek Brassard?
Oh, yeah. Come on, I had a good weekend. Let's just say, would Joe Sakic go? Yeah, I'll go play wing.
No, well, I mean, most of them.
A lot of guys wouldn't. You're absolutely right. And I give Malkin so much credit for that. And I've had people tell me, people who are close to Malkin who have said, like, he's told the Penguins, like, I'll play on the third line next year. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I just don't want to retire. I want to keep playing for this team, which is admirable given what he's done. This is a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're right. We don't usually see stuff. This is like Brian Trottier stuff when he showed up in Pittsburgh. I'll be your third line center. It's okay. I'm at the end of my career. Like, most guys aren't wired that way. In Letang, we saw Letang change his game for about 2 months when Karlsson showed up. He was really good the first half of that season. He just couldn't control it, though. He couldn't help himself. He had to kind of revert back, and we've never seen a different Letang since then.
Yeah, and Josh, like, if Kyle Dubas wants to be a hardcore, hey, you know what? You're 41. We're going to find someone that makes $3 million that can play for us for the next 10 years, and he's 6'3", 210. Okay, he could be the hard ass. If a columnist or a beat guy or whoever, media guy wants to bash, as much as I hate Ron Cook. Okay. But the fans should never, ever, ever turn on Evgeny Malkin.
And I don't think many
Period.
have. I mean,
and I know Twitter and all that is only 1/10 of the vocal minority. I'm just saying it should never get to, it should never be like for 15 years when I would scream when they would boo Yager. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, that used to drive me insane too. Anytime Yager was booed in that building was criminal to me.
I know. So I never wanted that to happen. And here, I'm sorry, I'm taking over the conversation.
No, you're good.
I think it's interesting, though. It seems like Ovi might be going and playing in Moscow next year.
It looks like it's trending in that direction.
Are they good enough friends now that they're just going to dominate the KHL together?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any inside info about Ovi, but I know a lot of people who are close to that franchise. There is growing sentiment that this is his last year. Like a lot of people think it is his last year with the Capitals anyway. So could be the case. He has really, and listen, he still has 20 some goals. So he's so great that he still puts up numbers. But if you watch him play, man, there's like all these videos on Twitter where he doesn't move on the ice for like 30 seconds. Like he's just conserving his energy. He looks like he's at the end for sure.
Like me in a beer league game or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, maybe that pushes anyway.
Maybe.
Yeah. No,
that just incenses me is like, how anyone could be upset with Gino.
You know what I was thinking, by the way? If this is Ovechkin's last season, his last ever home game is against the Penguins on the second Sunday in April. What do you think the over-under for shots on goal that game is for him? It's going to be like Kobe's last game when he scored 60 or whatever it was. Like it's just going to be Ovi in his office, and they're just going to set him up all game. I fully expect the Penguins win that game like 7-3, but Ovi has a hat trick and 20 shots on net.
Well, his last appearance in Pittsburgh was a fun Thursday night. Thank God we pulled that victory out.
Yeah. I don't want to, continually, it feels like we're just bashing Letang, but it is a major problem. And I remember, I think it was after the 2018 season, and Josh, you were probably in this scrum, but he was so bad in that series. And somebody, I forget, maybe it was Mackey, one of your colleagues, could have been you, Josh, threw it out there. Like, do you think you need to change your game a little bit? And he had that line, what do you think I need to change the way I play? He was just absolute refusal to change the way he plays. So he's not going to change the way he plays, and he's not going to do what Gino did. Like, does Dan Muse and Kyle Dubas just tell him like, hey, I think it'd be the ultimate way to call his bluff. Say like, look, you're not going to play here. So you have a no movement clause. We can't trade you unless you accept it. Otherwise, you're going to ride the bench. You're going to sit in the press box. And does that force his hand to maybe retire?
I don't know. This is a very delicate situation because that might sound like a good idea on the surface. Bet you the captain of the hockey team wouldn't like it very much.
Nope.
I know there's people out there, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, well, yeah, it does matter. It does. And Kyle hinted at this at his press conference last week when he basically said these are three guys who have to be treated a little differently because of what they've done. That's fair. But that said, I think Kyle is not above being kind of cold about this. And he had a very interesting line. He was talking about Malkin, and he praised him for about 2 minutes, how great he's been and this and that. And he's Gino Malkin. He's wonderful. And then he closed the statement by saying, but it's my job to do what's best for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Which was like, oh, okay. That's what got my attention. Now, let's transfer that to the tag.
It got mine too. And my counter is, well, find me a point per game center or a point per game winger that's taking $4 million a year.
That's right, because look at what Tampa did. Steven Stamkos is still really good. And I'm sure there's people in Tampa that are still pissed that he's gone, but Jake Gensel's even better. So they found someone better and younger.
Right.
So, okay. And you can live with that, even if Tampa's much more cutthroat than the Penguins when it comes to how they deal with their all-time greats. I would agree with that. I think if you find a better solution, then okay. And I think Dubas deserves a little bit of freedom to show people what he wants to do. He's done awfully well the last year. But to just bench Letang or to play those games, Man, any other player or situation, I'd say sure. Given how close Crosby and Letang and Malkin all are, I'm telling you, if Sid thinks that those two are being mistreated, he's not going to be happy. And you don't want to make him unhappy at this stage.
No, but I'll tell you this, and then I'll shut up about the whole Letang thing. If they treat Malkin cold, I'll be fine with that. If they do it with Letang too,
yeah,
and they're just both gone, and it's all over.
And I wonder if that might happen.
I mean, with Letang, it almost has to happen due to his play.
Right. That's the thing. I mean, he's hurting them on the ice more times than not. Malkin is not. We know this, and I do wonder if indeed Malkin does not return after this season. If they make that decision, he's not coming back. I do wonder if they just say, all right, you know what, we're going to include Chris in this too. Like, Chris,
it's the time to do it.
You're going to get your money.
That's
still.
what I think. And
unless Chris wants to play ball and go on LTIR to avoid embarrassment, which will be better for the Penguins. But I wonder if they might consider that, because I cannot imagine, like, here we are in March of 2026. We could be doing this podcast in 2 years, and he's still under contract. Are we going to be talking about Letang 2 years from now?
Jeez.
Still on this team? I just find it hard to believe, given the trajectory of his performance.
For how good the team's playing. Now let's just move to positivity. What is the 6 tonight?
The 6 tonight, we have Wotherspoon and Karlsson. We have Shane Letang and Solyanov, and Connor Clifton's back in the lineup.
So Solyanov is playing his normal side.
Yeah, he'll be on the left side.
Okay.
Yeah, Graves. The Penguins actually tweeted this out earlier. Graves had some kind of personal issue, which is why he wasn't at this game, but he'll be there tonight in the event of a pregame emergency where they would need him. So he'll be the 7th defenseman. Gerard's out day to day, so nothing too serious with him. And St. Ivan, he's back in Wilkes-Barre on a rehab stint, so he should be available within the next week or so, I would think, if they need him up there.
And per our conversation Friday, Mr. Hollander is still out.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he's made progress, but he's not quite ready yet. So
right, and then so it's the same lineup then, except Clifton in and Gerard out.
Yes, your boy Elmer will be in the lineup once again. So
he's hard to miss on the ice.
Oh my God, he really, like, even when you see on TV, like, because on TV, like, hockey players, you can see the guy who's 6'4" and the guy who's 5'10", but there's not that much of a difference. When the guy who's 6'8" walks onto the ice, you see the difference. He's a giant.
Well, and you know what? He's big enough to where people don't call his bluff.
No,
yeah, you don't want to mess with him.
Yeah, he might be.
It's good to have around.
He might be a tough guy, but that's right. And also, our buddy Marcy just asked, "What about Brazeau? He's still out tonight. Not believed to be real serious. I suspect he'll be ready to return at some point on this trip." I have to say, Joe, I think his game's tailed off a little bit, though.
I agree completely. I don't know if he's guaranteed a sweater if Elmer can bury one.
I mean, it's gonna. I think he'll still probably get a sweater, but I think he'd be one of the first guys to come out. All things considered, what if McGroarty comes back up and it looks great? There's a lot of different possibilities. And Brazeau's been really good this season, but his play's tailed off since. He
really hasn't looked the same since he was with Gino and Mo at the beginning.
Correct. He was really good with those guys. Whereas Mantha, his game has stayed just as damn good no matter who he's played with. And Mantha's a better player. I mean, we know this.
Yeah. And at one, he make it like 1.1. He can rot wherever
for another year. Yeah.
I mean, it's not like oh my God, what are we doing here? We got to play him.
It doesn't hurt to have a little competition to get a sweater. It's been a long time since the Penguins have had that.
By the way, we've been talking for almost an hour. And none of us has mentioned, I don't think, Igor Chinakhov's name.
Oh my God.
That he was great all weekend. The shot he scored on, have you ever seen a puck fly back, ricochet back out of the net like that? Like, it was unbelievable. A wrist shot. He's this guy. I thought his overall game, the playmaking that we saw from him, the speed he plays with, he was awesome all weekend.
And I think you've written, Josh, where Kyle wants some superstars. I think he got one.
Yep.
Maybe.
He looks like an all-star.
I will go back to quote Jordan Stahl again. He looked at me and said, "How about that freaking Chinakhov?" I said, "Yeah, he's pretty good, huh?" He said, "Yeah, I still check out Pitt's box scores all the time. Like, I keep seeing his name over and over again." I said, "Yeah, Yeah, he can play a little bit.
Well, what was Columbus thinking? Jesus, they chose their coach that they fired a week later over him.
Sometimes guys just don't work too. I mean, he only had like 3 goals in 30 games there too. So something wasn't, I'm not going to blame Columbus for everything, and maybe most of it, but he was obviously the wrong fit there. But how you don't make that guy work, I don't know, because he's not like a one-trick pony either, Joe. Like his overall game's pretty good.
You could see, Josh, how a stifling system would take the life out of his game, because he really does kind of freelance. He's got his speed, he's got his shot. He's played completely sound defensively, but we have so much more creativity than they have in Columbus as a team.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of jazz to his game.
Yeah, he's a penguin.
Stretch passes and the letting him cherry pick. That doesn't go over well in Columbus.
Like we always talk about his shot, and his shot's incredible. But when I watch him play, like his speed just jumps out at me. Like the way he can use that speed to get open, the way he can create things for his teammates, he's really impressive.
Tommy Terrific said he's one of the fastest players he's ever played with.
Jeez.
That says it.
The Penguins, they've always been that way. Maybe that's why one of the great synergies of the great Mike Lang, who's on the Labatt can, because he was a big Jazz fan.
Oh yeah,
and in the Penguins, it's been a lot of freelance. It's been we don't like the structure of New Jersey and everything like that. So yeah, maybe Igor. Talk about a player I think Mike Lang would have loved to watch, because he enjoyed those players that brought the energy.
That is funny though, how we did go almost an hour without talking about the MVP of the weekend.
I mean, to me, he's like, where would you put him on the team behind Erik Karlsson, Crosby, and Malkin? He's probably number 5. I mean, him and Tommy Novak are probably right there.
He'll be on the top power play again this evening. I watched them practice the power play. It was Karlsson and Raquel and Rust and Chinakhov and I'm forgetting Mantha, I guess. I think, I'm trying to remember now, but Chinakhov, this guy's a weapon. We haven't really even seen him on the power play much until the last couple of days. Like, what if he gets comfortable on the power play with the way he can shoot the puck, Joe? Man,
he can take Gino's spot, right?
Yeah. He is a weapon.
Cannon from the left side there.
He is a real weapon, and he's just a kid. He's 24 years old. I mean,
now you can start to see the post-Sid life. Not them trying to rush it, but
when you said the speed, I think you're going to say his stick handling is pretty amazing.
It is. I mean, I don't see anything in his game I don't like. And honestly,
and he's not like he doesn't play. He's not soft. He doesn't play European. He plays defense. He's always in the right position. He makes the smart play. There's not one thing I don't like about his game at all.
No, I'm completely impressed with him, and they're going to need him. We know Sid's out for at least one game on this trip, potentially more. We know Gino's out for 3. Like, the offense has been fine the last couple of games. 3 goals against Philly, 5 against Boston. If they can get 3 goals in a game with this lineup, you're happy.
I'll tell you. I was, it was on TNT, and I knew Alex Faust. He was the Kings broadcaster for a while, but I thought him and Barterol and Casey did a marvelous job on the telecast. I think that was like one of the best national broadcast games. I mean, because I love Edzo and Albert, but other than those two, I think we've always just like, oh my God, these guys are terrible. I thought they were great on Sunday, and I especially think Barterol was only her and AJ Malesko. I think do a great job. Sometimes the ladies are just like, oh my God, it's terrible. But I thought Barterol did great on Sunday.
TNT's coverage is just so good.
Yeah, she's really good, and TNT in general. Yeah, I will take them over ESPN.
Yeah,
all day.
Oh, I couldn't even. I was just listening to the game on the radio by the pool. I can't take ESPN's coverage of it.
ESPN, of course, immediately goes, should Evgeny Malkin get traded? Like they actually, like they do the meme that the Penguins fans are doing. So before we're gonna get to the Lord's work, and also the Steelers have kind of made some splashes, so we'll run through that a little bit, but Alex at Danny's Pizza and Hoagies had to have been thrilled with that game. I don't know if he was at any of the games over the weekend. I know he goes a lot.
I believe he was there Sunday. Yeah, he had some pictures from his seats. I think he was live. No bigger fan than Alex, the owner of Danny's Pizza and Hoagies at 5159 Library Road, Bethel Park, right before you get to South Park on Route 88. The number is 412-833-7788. I was talking to him this morning. I said, I'm back in town. And I got to get there soon because my girlfriend's coming next week and she loves Danny's. But it's like, I'm not allowed to go 3 times in 1 week. It's the best, especially Saturday. I was like, after that loss, I was like, I need a Danny's. I need to eat my sorrows away. The absolute best Italian hoagie in the world. If you don't like it, I'll buy it from you. Like, I swear to God. You will go there. Everyone loves it. It's the best. The pizza is amazing. I especially love the Catskill, the pepperoni cut. I have that as an appetizer before you get the Italian special. Or their steak hoagie is incredible too. It's nothing like you've ever had before. They're huge Penguin fans. The whole staff is great. Go in there. You can talk a little Penguin hockey and get the best pizza and hoagies anywhere in Western Pennsylvania. Look at me. I guarantee it. Camera.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. So 412-833-7788. Weather's getting nice. Grab a hoagie and go to South Park and enjoy the sun. And you can listen to the game on the radio if you're not at the game because Alex will be. They're on the road now. So
yeah, we're getting to the Night Owls Club too.
Yeah, so order and then sit up and enjoy your hoagie with hopefully some points.
Yeah.
But my mom always said, you talk too fast when you do the ad. But it's just because of love. It really is. Isn't it, Josh? Is it the best damn hoagie you'll ever have?
No, I've been going to Danny's my whole life. I mean, yeah, it's Joe. I mean, nobody loves Danny's more than Joe, but I do love Danny's. Joe's going to be, I think, a greeter there someday. That'll be like his retirement.
I practically am. But I will say this too. I've been having the hoagies for 50 years. They always taste exactly the same. You're never like, oh, that one wasn't it's just as thrilling every time.
Yeah, no, it really is.
It's never like, oh, that one. Every time it's like, God, I love
it. And I can't. I'll say this personal story. Over the weekend, we picked up hoagies. We weren't near Danny's, otherwise we would have gone there. And my wife takes a bite and she goes, "Damn!" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "It's nothing worse than when you're excited for a hoagie and it doesn't taste the way you want it to. So it's never going to happen at Danny's."
Go to Danny's. Always 10 out of 10. It tastes the same forever. 60 years.
And one thing I do like too,
66 years from.
We always say this about Bill Neopus. The people at Danny's, they're the nicest freaking people on earth. They really are. Like, it just makes you feel good to do business with good people. They really.
I know. Yeah. When you put me in touch with Alex, I mean, we were like talked hockey for about an hour and 10 minutes before we even. Let's talk about business too.
So he's the best, and no bigger Penguin fan, and no better hoagie. The pizza's awesome. Hoagie, oh my God, it literally tastes perfect every single time. And of course, he texted in to me what he thought was going to be the Lord's work of the week.
Oh yeah,
and it was a very good choice because the Rangers won Monday night 6-2.
Oh,
and Mika Zibanejad had 2 goals and an apple, and Alex Lafreniere a goal and an assist. And I also think, Avery Hayes, he lost, but he put a beating on a couple guys. But nothing is good as Vitek Vanacek Thursday night in Philly with the big donut. Nothing better than having Philly fans have nothing to cheer about. Going home with nothing. Zippo, Vitek Vanacek doing the Lord's work last Thursday night. And it's funny because I saw Kevin Brennan came up. And he gives our love to our show, Kevin Brennan from Philadelphia. And his podcast is Misery Loves Company. So little misery in the city of brotherly love, thanks to Vitek Vanacek and Alex at Danny's Hoagies. Go out Route 88. I guarantee the best hoagie you're ever going to have.
We love the Penguins. As Penguins fans, we love the Flyers' misery. I can still, whenever Sid buried that empty netter in Game 6 in 2009, I can still picture the image of the fan sitting behind the net that he kicked the boards and stood up and left. And it's one of my favorite memories of all time. If I ever meet that guy, I'd get an autograph and frame it like it was Lemieux.
And it's funny because my sister at DVE, the great Abby Krisner, said she was at the game and she was all upset because no Sid, no Gino. She had to wear a Rusty jersey. And I was surrounded by Flyer fans, and she goes, they had to hear me scream in 1975.
The loser since 1975 jersey. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Well, we always have 5-2 on the only scoreboard in life that matters. Like I say, now I can die in peace.
Yep.
Thanks, Sid. Thanks, Gino. That's why never boo Gino.
Yeah.
5-2. Thanks to him.
I'm gonna have to get one of Madden's shirts of the how long it's been 50 years since they won the cup and wear it on the show, because it's just, we should probably make that like the uniform for the show.
66 years of Danny's and Bill Neopus. It's a great, for numerologists, this is our year.
Yep, this is the year. All right, so Iran Tan in this last segment, the Steelers made some moves with the legal tampering period, which is hilarious to me because that implies that there's an illegal tampering period that does take place as well. But they just wanted to let everybody know, okay, now you can tamper. None of it makes sense. But a couple of re-signing that they re-signed Asante Samuel Jr. I think that's good. Cole Holcomb, okay, no big deal. It doesn't hurt though. It maybe helps a little bit. The big one, I'll run through the names and then we'll circle back and go through them. But so Michael Pittman Jr. they traded for and then extended. Rico Dowdle, running back from let's see, the last 2 years he's had 1,000-yard back-to-back 1,000-yard season, so you can't complain there. Jamal Dean, cornerback from Tampa Bay.
I heard he's very good.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden we're looking at a team that, for as much as I've been like Omar Khan, you got to do something. I think we have something here. Michael Pittman Jr. first and foremost. I'll throw it out there to you guys. Where do you think he lands? Do we have, with him and DK, do we have a 1A and a 1B, or is it we have 2 1Bs?
That's a good question, but you got 2 good receivers, and I think they can figure it out. I think DK is more of a big play guy. They want to use him down the field more. Whereas Pittman, even though he's big like DK, he probably specializes more in the intermediate routes, which they need more. Sometimes on 3rd and 4, you need someone to throw to, right? And I think he might end up being kind of a possession guy for them. Pittman's a really good player. I know our friend Mark Cabali's always loved him. And one thing about Pittman, like, he's not had a lot of good quarterback play in Indy over the years. So you look at his numbers; they look good, not great. But he's not exactly been playing with Peyton Manning in his years in Indianapolis. So I think he's a pretty good player, and you basically got him for nothing. And honestly, so $19 million a year for him? That might sound insane, but like, you see like Alec Pierce getting $29 million a year. Romeo Doubs just got more money than that, with the Patriots. So I actually think it's a pretty reasonable contract for Pittman.
Yeah, I've heard good things about the cornerback, which we obviously need to help defensively.
Yeah.
And I have 2 big takeaways from the last 24 hours. One is I know who Michael Pittman Jr. is.
Yeah.
So that's a very good. It's like I don't follow the league like most Pittsburgh people do. I love hockey and I love the Steelers. So I'm happy we got a guy. I think it's that two number 2s, but that's better than having 1 number 2.
Oh,
right.
Absolutely.
And I take it Mr. Rogers in his neighborhood, be able to find him. I'm still perplexed, Josh and Corey. Why do we just pay Gainwell? He's our MVP.
I know.
We have cap money. I mean, he was making $9 million. It doesn't seem like that much money to me.
I
think we could have given him.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too. I like Rico Dowdle; he's a good player. I've seen him play. He might be a better pure runner than Gainwell, but Gainwell is so good on 3rd downs. So good receiving, so good at picking up the blitz, all that little stuff. He was the team MVP. I mean, that tells you something. And when I heard that Tampa signed Gainwell, I figured they gave him some ridiculous contract, but they really didn't. So it was a little odd. And that also tells me that the running back they took in the 3rd round last year, Caleb Johnson, like he
ain't the guy.
I mean, he didn't look good in games, but the coaches know more than we do, presumably, in the organization. They must not be very impressed with him.
Yeah. Him and also Roman Wilson, I guess, this will be one of their last chances.
Well, the thing with the kid from Wisconsin, why doesn't he get a second chance under McCarthy's regime? You hate to throw away a 3rd round pick, just like, oh, well, he didn't do it because, McCarthy's supposed to be the offensive guru. He may have something, but to get back to Gainwell, he was kind of Mr. Rogers, he was his security blanket. He knew how to pick up the blitz, and he caught those swing passes. He made the best catch of the season last year. Talking about saving the seasons. I just don't see how you let that guy walk for like a contract that looked like wasn't that.
It's not like he got $20 million a year.
Yeah, for 6 years.
Yeah. No, I'll be curious to hear them talk about it and what the thinking was. And we assume Rodgers is coming back. I think that's their assumption. It's kind of the same stuff as last year. And I like Rodgers. I'm not some anti-Rodgers person. It does get a little old though. Like this is going to be a thing every year, waiting for 4 months to see if he's going to come back.
Yeah, I think you've had enough time. Yeah, just make a decision.
And maybe they have a pretty good idea that he is or whatever. But it's, free agency did start yesterday. You kind of have to start making decisions. So I feel like they're putting the team together under the presumption that he's coming back. That's great if he comes back. It's probably the best thing for them for this season anyway. But what if he doesn't? I think that's your problem.
Well, if he doesn't, can we, and it's not Mike Tomlin, so we can go 5-11 and we can get a quarterback.
And that's big picture. There's nothing wrong with that. That's right. And we know that's what they need eventually anyway.
Yeah. I like this Jamal Dean too, because we were talking about there. Tim Benz was talking about him on the radio when I was driving in. He had a friend who's on the beat down in Tampa, and he said he's not somebody that's going to get a bunch of he's not going to get his hands on a lot of balls. He doesn't have great hands, but he is a physical cornerback. And I'm thinking to myself of how many times last year we saw cornerbacks just kind of, oops, I wasn't there. I didn't get a chance to make that tackle.
Well, I hope he's not as physical as Porter when the ball's in the air.
Yeah, that's all right.
I don't think we talked about this last week, but I think a big thing that happened was Jonnu Smith is not a Steeler anymore. Which was he ever really a Steeler? I mean, you talk about someone that did nothing.
That was one of the funniest moments of the season. You could hear the audio when he was in motion and Rodgers yelled at him and said, "What the hell are you doing?" And then he went on the other side. Yeah, that guy was that guy was awful. Oh my God, was he bad? So I'm glad that he will be no longer on the team. We'll see. It used to be the Steelers never did anything in free agency and they always won. And now the last few years, I feel like they're making splashes in free agency, but it never really translates. But that said, I like the moves that they made. I think they're on paper better today than they were 2 days ago.
Yeah, and now TJ Watt's the third best defensive end in the AFC North.
How's Joe Burrow feel, by the way?
He feels pretty good. He's banging Jessica Alba.
I saw that. Yeah,
I saw that.
He's not thinking about Max Crosby or anybody else.
Yeah, that's a way to get his mind off it, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, everything still works.
They were in Vegas. So he and Jessica Alba were in Vegas. Like, if they're still going to be there in a couple of days, I'll try to introduce myself and take a selfie and send it to you, Joe.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, she's my age. She's right in my alley. Perfect age for me in the 40s. I wonder if he gave her a ride in the Batmobile.
I don't know. He probably just bitched to her about his team's defense. So that would be reasonable.
But it's like, I'm going to be inundated now for the next month about the draft, but I will start it right now. So you figure we got a wide receiver. Let's say Rodgers is coming back, and we're going to give the Ohio State kid a shot. Mm-hmm. Do we go? We have to go left tackle, right? Is that who we go?
Who's that guy that Pursuita's been talking about from Penn State? There's a Penn State guy. It's difficult.
Well, I haven't been there for 2 weeks.
Okay,
so
he's the guy.
Find out
that
tomorrow morning, I guess.
Yeah,
they need a left guard now too, because
Sam Malu left. Yeah,
they lost him last night. So
it might have been a guard that he was talking about.
And I think we can all say the show's been 2 years. I've defended Tomlin more than most people.
Oh yeah,
I would believe. But did they screw anything up more than Broderick Jones? I mean, could they have done that? And here's the guy that comes from Alabama, or I'm sorry, Georgia. Yeah. He's only won national championships. He's only played basically NFL football for a couple of years, and they move his position. Like,
I know. All to placate a guy who got absolutely destroyed in Tennessee and replaced within a couple of weeks. Like it's not like you're protecting some franchise icon by moving the first round pick over the right. That was malpractice.
It was. I mean, and that's one thing I will say about the Steelers. I feel like there's a sense in Pittsburgh right now, until they get a quarterback and until they do this and that, they're just going to wallow in mediocrity for the foreseeable future. That might be true. That's possible. But I will say, let's give the new coaching staff a look. It could be that they were coached even worse than we realized the last few years.
Absolutely.
Could all of these guys have all been first round busts? I don't know. Let's give Mike McCarthy a chance here to see what he can do, because there is some real live talent on this team.
Yeah, and I don't know why people are so against Rodgers coming back. It's like, you're not going to have the guy this year, so
Right.
it might as well just be, take a shot with Rodgers, and then you're gonna start assessing where the next QB of the future is.
The only thing Rodgers' presence hurts with is maybe you'll pick 17th the next year instead of 8th or something if you want to. I understand that, but if you're trying to win, is Kyler Murray better than Rodgers?
No, God, no.
He can't even ride the Thunderbolt.
That's right. I mean, there's just no one else out there. Rodgers was not great last year, but he was still, I think, pretty good. And if you actually give him some weapons other than DK Metcalf this season, and maybe, a coaching staff that knows what it's doing, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing I've said when, about the Gavin McKinnon sweepstakes, when it looked like we were going to trade Geno and Sid's traded. And I want to win. I'd rather the Steelers go 7-9 with Rodgers than go 3-14 or whatever the math adds up to. I just, I want to win. I mean, I just want to win. It's fun to win. I don't watch Steeler games going, oh God, I'm glad we're losing. I want to get a draft pick. Just like I don't want to sit there in November and watch the Penguins go, oh, I hope Mantha sucks because I want to move up in the draft. Sports are for winning.
Too many fans like playing GM and just don't enjoy trying to win games. That's always been my viewpoint on that.
Yeah,
I know that goes by quick on the people, but I want to thank the guy who shouted out my set at the Improv. Thank you for being a fan.
Yeah.
And that was a nice get. The guy said we're the only show in town that calls out Letang. So thanks for paying attention.
Yeah, we love you fans.
I love my fans, and I love fans of this show. I love my comedy fans. So it was a nice little shot. Yeah, it's like, well, I think we tell it like it is. Josh certainly does, and he has to go in. I can sit in the upper deck, or I can sit at home, or I can sit in California and say all I want. But Josh has to go in there and deal with all these egos. And I think Josh plays it right down the middle.
Yeah,
it's better than anybody. That's why everyone loves you, Josh.
Yeah.
I'll do my best, Joe. I appreciate that.
No, but seriously, you're pro Penguin, but you tell it like it is. You call everybody out.
And I've always said about Letang in particular, I know he gets pissed at me sometimes, but I have always, in my opinion, called him right down the middle. I will say when he plays great, and I will give him credit for the stuff he's overcome in his life. This is uncommon stuff he's done, and he deserves credit for that.
Oh yeah, but Josh, you've even said you've even called out the captain on the rare occasion he needs called out.
Sure. I mean, listen, it happened. I don't call him out very often, but yeah, I mean,
he doesn't need to be. I mean,
I have all the respect in the world I have all the respect in the world for all three of those guys. I really do. But yeah, I try to keep it real for my readers and for all the viewers and listeners of this show, because that's what I'm supposed to do. That's what we're all supposed to do. We got to tell it the way it is. But
yeah,
big picture. I know we're wrapping up, but this is an exciting road trip, isn't it? I can just feel everybody's excited. For these next, it's a little scary, this road trip, I realize on paper, but I know everybody's going to be watching.
I have a good feeling about tonight in Carolina. And if I were a betting man, maybe I would put something on it, because we match up so far we only played them once, but we match up kind of well against them. I'm curious to see these guys, because you're not trying to, go out there without Sid and Geno and play against McDavid and outscore them.
Well, this is not a shot at Sullivan, but it will seem like one. Well, I think Muse's system, or just Muse trying different things, is going to be better than just throwing the same guys out there doing the same thing that hasn't worked in Carolina for a decade.
Penguins have not won a game there since December 22nd, 2018.
If we're gonna wrap up, I want to have one little note with Corey. Are we wrapping up? Or
no, I just was curious, Josh. You remember you pointed out on Twitter what happened before that, right before that game.
AB played a game for the Steelers for the final time the next day. So maybe Somebody on Twitter suggested maybe if the Penguins win tonight, the Steelers will sign AB to be their slot receiver. Like, boy, wouldn't that be great?
Oh, well, I took full blame for full blame for the weekend, and I think my old dog let me off the hook because I changed everyone's favorite Ruby. She was on my phone forever, and I took her picture off the main phone, and then literally my hacked Instagram account took over for like a day, and I'm like, that's the ghost of Ruby attacking me. I literally said, you know what, I'm kind of getting sad when I see her face, and I'm going to change her picture. Literally 10 seconds later, Malkin hit the guy over the head with a stick, and I'm like, it's Fuzz. Fuzz is attacking me. The ghost of Fuzz is not happy. So then after we came back on Sunday, I'm like, I think Fuzz is letting us off the hook. No, but I want to say an interesting fact, because I stayed in LA with Fraser Smith, who grew up in Ann Arbor and a huge Michigan fan. And they had a great basketball win. They won the Big Ten outright. Don't listen to this, Pursuta. But your coach got off the hook.
Yeah.
Did you see that? They let him off the hook. I don't know what happened. I don't know how you can grab a girl with a butter knife. And he's off the hook.
It's a great question.
I've never seen anything like it. Is he OJ? I need off the hook.
I never liked him as coach, and then clearly did not like him as a person. I don't know. I mean, it must have been like some, judge that went to school with him or something like that. Like, I mean, how does that happen?
To be famous in our judicial system is
well, it's so funny because everyone knew that was going on forever. He just had to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
As soon as he lost Ohio State, it's like, oh, hey, you know what? You can't be banging the secretary. Or he was giving her a raise. He was giving her raises. She didn't really work there.
He was doing both, I think. Yeah.
He was doing raises in multiple ways.
Anyway, a little fun at the end.
Yeah, but
it was just I couldn't believe it. And actually, like in our group text, like friends of mine were like, "This has to be fake, like AI." There's no way he got off the hook, but he did.
Yeah,
it was like a joke.
I know.
Yeah. I can't stand him, so I really wanted to see him in prison for a long time. And the fact that he went on his mugshot, he changed to his Instagram profile like the day that he got arrested.
Weird move.
He's crazier than AB.
Yeah. Oh, he makes AB look like a.
Me mentioning AB is what made Joe think of this story. Yeah.
It really did. Like AB. Oh, it actually did. But
Well, hey, check it out because we got Michigan basketball, number one seed in hockey, most likely. So let's get a couple banners there. I'm sure Fraser will be watching, so I will be. But for those of you here that watch here, we appreciate you as always. Let's pile up some points and end this streak in Carolina. I had a Twitter user say that they're 0-6 there. They live down there. They've gone 6 times and they've lost every time. So let's get him a win tonight. He's going. So let's turn it around and we'll talk to you guys next week.